African dance, the movements, the decorative dress. All these things are aspects reminiscent of a proud culture which dates back to the dawning of time. African dance has been the inspiration for many art forms and practices today. One such art form is stepping, the intricate movements of Black Greek letter organizations performed on many college campuses across the nation. Sit back and enter the world of stepping and see how these Greeks have painted the colorful past of college life. Learn about the history up until now, their styles, and get the lowdown on what it truly means to stomp on a college campus. In case you don't know, this is sure to be a good show.
Just hey, A5, 100 years old. Let's go with it. A5.
Usually when people mention stepping, they only talk about a small part of the grander scheme of things in the history of BGLOs, Black Greek letter organizations. Various black fraternities and sororities appeared over the years, mostly founded in the late to mid 1900s. Their purpose was to improve the social and academic lives for those blacks who were just being allowed to enter into the world of academia on predominantly white campuses. Secret societies were prevalent before the formation of these organizations in the form of groups such as the Freemasons, who incorporated secret grips and passwords to expose imposters, or Sigma Pi Phi, the first black Greek-lettered fraternity. The problem is that in their infancy, many of these organizations eliminated the inclusion of undergraduates in their societies. Black college students still needed lasting, cohesive organizations to provide them with support needed to deal with the prejudice present on college campuses. The first of these organizations was Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, founded in 1906 on the campus of Cornell University. Soon after came Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, founded in 1908 at Howard University. As time passed, more and more black organizations came into existence, like Ka Psi Fraternity in Indiana University, Omega Psi Phi, Delta Sigma Theta, Phi Beta Sigma, and Zeta Phi Beta, all founded on Howard University. Then Sigma Gamma Rho, founded at Butler University, and finally Iota Phi Theta at Morgan State University. All these organizations make up the National Pan-Hellenic Council, lovingly dubbed the Divine Nine, which formed over the years with a unanimous goal to promote service for mankind through shared interests. Black Greeks are sure to make it known that their plight has never faded. Stepping is a fun part, but not the only part of Greek life.
Well, I can't speak on the behalf of Kappa, Alpha Psi, Omega Psi, Psi Phi, or Phi Beta Sigma. With Alpha Phi Alpha, I found those the 7 great wonderful jewels of our organization. They did on the aspect of being on a predominantly white campus, of just being a support group for black Americans, just to be in that support group so they can finish school and just transcend all.
Greeks still have, when they have just as much a purpose on college campuses today as they did when they originated back in the 1900s, early 1900s. And the important aspect is for those Greeks not to lose focus of that. They were born to be leaders out of these organizations. And there's so much more to the organization stepping that we need to look into that. And once you graduate from college and move into a graduate chapter, you find that out, that you hang up your stepping boots and you really get involved in what the fraternity or sorority is actually about. That's going to be service to the community, service to mankind, and being the best individual that you can be to uplift mankind, as we put it.
It's important for all of us to understand why we're here today. And for Alpha Phi Alpha, it was created to bring young men together where they were not the majority, where there could be a unity, so they could work together to reach a goal. And I think if we can keep that in mind today and not get caught up in some of the other things that have come along and been added, I think we'll be in great shape.
We all have the same emphasis of community service. It's not just all about getting initiated in your organization and wearing the letters. We're known prestigiously around campuses for community service, work we've done for the school, being a part of other organizations that make the school. It's not just all about wearing the letters.
Though Black Greeks are mindful to mention the idea that stepping is not the pinnacle of what it means to be Greek, it still serves as a very emblematic representation of their image and legacy. So what is stepping exactly? It has many names: freaking, hopping, strutting, stomping, to name a few. More specifically, stepping is a complex performance that melds folk traditions with current culture and involves synchronized beats, singing, aspects of drama, even pop culture. It means something different to everybody.
Stepping is an expression of, it's almost like an art form. Most people will see it like outsiders outside the Greek community would see it as just another form of dance or things of that nature. But for us, it's a form of expression. It's a form of showing our culture, what being a part of our Greek organizations is all about. So it's a strong way for each individual group to show who they are, just give a little bit of their personality.
And it's just a rhythmic dance art. Some people say Sigma started, some say Q started, some say we started, us being the first Black Greek. But honestly, it's mostly came from the motherland.
My definition of stepping is making beats and sounds with your hands and your feet. It's like a choreographed dance. It is a tradition. I've always known sororities and fraternities for stepping or for strutting at the party. It's definitely about tradition.
My personal definition of stepping will have to be a way to define your organization and yourself. Considering stepping originated back in African folk days, and we kind of adapted it with our Black letter organizations.
And these definitions make up the aspirations to which Greeks strive for to achieve the character, dignity, and identity evident in their practices. It's not clear to many exactly how stepping began. It's generally believed stepping has its roots in African folklore and dance, aspects passed down from the practices of slaves, spirituals, even the rhythmic pounding and singing of old prison chain gangs from days long past all serve as possible origins of stepping. One such African custom is called juba, or patting juba. It even incorporates the usage of props like jugs, household utensils, or even one's body as a means to duplicate drum patterns. This and many other ethnic forms of dance has inspired contemporary forms of dance like stepping.
It's obvious that it has some kind of the dance aspect of it, the rhythmic aspect of it has some connection to African dance.
Others said that it also may have come from the South African boot dance, and it might have come from that era, and stepping came from that. And then there's still a third aspect that said once the soldiers came back from World War II, that military regimen became a part of stepping, and it derived from that aspect of it.